Hey guys, Thogden here, and welcome back to a brand new video. Now today, we are going to be going on to game week 15 of our Premier League predictions. Some very interesting games. You know, during the Christmas period, there are loads of matches. You have the midweek, and then you come straight to the weekend, and you've got more. I'm currently in Manchester, in a hotel room, because as the United game last night, I haven't had time to get home and record with Thogdad. But even better, we've got our guest. It is Theo Baker.
Come on! The world's
himself.
biggest amount of ball knowledge, Theo. Hey,
Lads.
it's 2 Theos in one show. What more could you want?
We're about to put you to the test.
Oh,
I'm excited to see how you do, because the thing is with you, there's been a lot of, I'd say a lot of haters online. They don't reckon that your football knowledge is there.
the ball knowledge may not be all there. At some point, it will come to fruition. No matter what I say, at some point, it will come to fruition. I'll be proved to be a genius.
I've got a massive smile on my boat race because my life has been changed, Theo.
Okay, why has your life changed?
The weed whacker, Theo. Do you know what this is?
No.
This is revolutionary.
What does that do?
Theo, don't mock the weed whacker. I tell you what, you get to my age, Theo.
Yeah, 96.
Cheeky so-and-so. I tell you, you get to my age, Theo. You get those little hairs in your nose and in your ears. It's horrible to talk about. You get it in there, you get it in there, you get it. Takes all the hairs away.
That's mine anyway. They sent that to me. Dad, do you know about the lawnmower?
Oh, you do actually.
How do you know?
That's for your hair, isn't it? Hair and hair and...
Well,
Yeah,
it
it's-
can be used for hair, but it's more for downstairs. Your balls. It's what you use it for.
Sorry. I think I just heard you say it's for your balls.
Of course it is.
There was none of those in my day, lad. I'm not even joking. Those will make brilliant presents for like your uncle, your granddad, your brother.
Well, we're coming up to Christmas, Thogdad.
Tell you what, mate. Give me a cheeky deal.
Let's get you a deal. Thogden 20. I'll give you 20% off. Free shipping, just using that code.
Wow. Do it now.
Go click the first link in the description, use our code, and that's what you get. We've had a lot of guests on. We're way ahead, me and Thogdad, in the points. Let's see how you compare. I'm going to give you a chance today.
Hello, this is Thogdad in London. I've got a cold. I've done me hamstring in. It's cold outside. And what is worse is the scores on the doors. Thogdad 4 points, Thogden 6 points, and David Wheater, he is a pro footballer, got 7 points. Overall, 73 to the guest, 93 to Thogdad. And I hate to say this, 95 to Thogden. Well done, lad, but it will not last. Now let's move swiftly on.
I'm just going to get straight to the games, all right? Let's just start with West Ham against Chelsea. How do you feel, mate?
This is a huge game for West Ham. Huge game for West Ham. And to be fair, and for Chelsea, you know, they're currently 1 point ahead of City. This is going to just keep them above it. If they lose it, the pressure's all on Chelsea, isn't it? Like, City could start to easily run away with it. West Ham currently sitting in 4th.
They're smashing it, though. This is not an easy game for Chelsea.
The thing is, though, Chelsea are so stupidly good at the moment. Like, they're just such a force. And West Ham, obviously, they're having like a season of their life. But I feel like if West Ham seriously want to be in contention of getting top 4, top 5, which I think they are, they definitely have a shot of it. This is like a must-win for them.
It's a game that I could go either way, but my prediction's still going to be West Ham 1, Chelsea 2. I know it's boring, but I just think Chelsea, like you said, they're unstoppable. Mason Mount did very well against Watford. He got a goal and assist. But those are the sort of players that just come in. It's like they've got squad depth. They can change around their whole forward line and still bag goals for fun with Ziyech coming in, etc. So I think 2-1 Chelsea.
Especially over Christmas period, like, you're going to see so much rotation. Like, it's all about the teams with the big squad depths. I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea. I just think Chelsea's defence, you know, they're solid. They're solid. And I just can't see West Ham scoring. Even though they are playing at home, I'm still going to go 2-0 Chelsea.
Let's go over to Thogdad. Let's see if he goes for a Chelsea win to make it 3 out of 3.
All I can say is Mason Mount, I sell him from my FPL. He gets a goal, he gets an assist. I think this will be a close game between two really good teams. I'm going West Ham 1, Chelsea 2.
The next match, Theo, we're going on to Newcastle against Burnley.
Yeah.
Newcastle haven't won in 15 now. They've got a new manager. It's still not clicking. You know, well, it was a tough one in Norwich because they got a red card early on and it was a weird game. They did end up getting the penalty to equalise. What's your feeling on Newcastle? Will they finally get this win at home to Burnley?
It's a tough one, isn't it? I feel like if they are going to finally get that win, this is the game to do it in.
Yes.
I feel like Burnley are always that club that will just grind out a result against a team. Eddie Howe, he definitely needs time. He needs his time because he's not... I see Eddie Howe as like a coach rather than a manager, if that makes sense. I do feel like this is the game Newcastle will get the win, but I think it'll be like a scrappy 1-0.
I can't agree with you, mate. I don't know why. There's something that tells me Newcastle, they're not going to do it against Burnley. It's Sean Dyche. It's just something about the claret and blue boys.
I know exactly what you mean.
I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw, actually.
1-1 draw?
Yeah. Right, let's see what Thogdad goes for. Is he backing Theo or Theo?
Newcastle against Burnley, 20th against 18th. What a massive relegation scrap. Newcastle against Norwich were absolutely woeful, with the exception of Dubravka, who got that late save. And they're up against Burnley, who've not lost in at least the last 5 games. They're looking decent. Clean sheet against Wolverhampton Wanderers. You know what? I think Burnley are the favourites here, but I'm going to be fair to Newcastle and say Newcastle 0, Burnley 0. I think Newcastle can sneak a point here.
Next match, Southampton versus Brighton. You know what? Southampton drew 2-2 to Leicester midweek, and Brighton scored last minute away at West Ham. It was incredible. Did you see that Malpai overhead kick?
I did.
So what do you feel for this match?
South Coast derby, mate. It's a South Coast derby. It is. Obviously, being from near Brighton, you'd expect me to back the mighty Seagulls. But I'm going to go with a draw. I know Brighton, they are doing a lot better than Southampton this season. But, I feel like that 2-2 draw against Leicester might add a little bit of confidence to the Southampton team. So I'm going to go with... I'll go with a 2-2 draw.
My first thought into this game was a Southampton home win. But then I looked at Brighton and they do just love a draw. I think in the last 5 games they've drawn 4 of them. I'm going to be boring here and go Southampton 1, Brighton 1. Right, Thogdad. What do you reckon?
Neil Maupay misses the tap-ins and then he scores an absolute screamer. But you know what? I think this is going to be close. I'm going Southampton 1, Brighton 1.
Next match, we're going over to Wolverhampton for Wolves versus Liverpool. You once told me when we were on the podcast, Arsenal would win the Premier League. For me, you've got to look at Liverpool at the moment. They're up there, mate. You got to give it to him.
Salah, not only is he in the form of his life, arguably, I would say he's the best player in the world right now. They have the best player in the world right now. I reckon a 3-0 Liverpool.
There's nothing that's going to stop Liverpool. So you've gone 3-0. I'd probably go 2-0. Well, actually, there is one thing that will stop Liverpool, and that's AFCON. When Mane and Salah go off to their nations to play in that tournament over the December-January period. Well, it's already December. When are they actually going? I need to find out.
Yeah, soon.
I'm going to go 2-0, 1 goal less, but still the same result. I think Wolves have drawn the last 2 games 0-0 as well, so 180 minutes without a goal, especially with home fixtures, is pretty poor. I don't think that's going to change against one of the best teams, not only in the Premier League, but in the world. Over to Thogdad.
Talking of amazing, Mo Salah. What can I say? It's all been said, so I won't say it again. Jordan Henderson, though, surprises a lot of people week in, week out. 1 goal, 1 assist. Andy Robertson also helped. There's only one winner in this game. I'm going 1-0 to Liverpool.
We move on to the next one. It's Watford against Manchester City. Watford have only won 1 of the last 5 games, and that was against the other club in Manchester, who I watched play yesterday. That is, of course, United. A 4-1 smashing. But outside of that, they've not really found the results they've wanted. Theo, what's your take on this?
I mean, saying that, to only lose 2-1 to Chelsea, I would say is not... it's not...
Yeah,
they
that's true.
Didn't exactly get battered, do you know what I mean? They can take some confidence away from that. Obviously, they've got Ranieri now. Unfortunately, Fozzie is injured. He's done his groin and whatnot. I think he's coming back in January, so he's out for a while. So they're missing their arguably their best player. I hate to break it to Watford fans, I do feel like it could easily be a 5-0 City. I'm going for 5-0 City, or it could be a 1-0 Watford. So something weird could happen. Watford could pull off a random one. But I'm gonna have to back it and go 5-0 City.
Yeah, but no Fozzie, no party. It's not gonna happen.
Exactly, mate. If he was playing, it was a 1-0 Watford, but he's not, and it's a 5-0 City.
I completely agree. I don't think it'll be as much as 5-0 City. I think it's gonna be Watford 1, City 3. Bit of a 4-goal thriller. I just think Watford do usually score at the moment. They might lose, but they find a goal from somewhere.
Watford against Manchester City, and there's got to be a word about Emmanuel Dennis. He's one of the top cheap assets in fantasy football at the moment. He got another goal, didn't he, last game week? But Manchester City, that is a different gravy. Bernardo Silva, I'll tell you what, he is astonishing at the moment. One of the best players this season. So you know what? Watford can make a surprise on their day, but it won't be this one. Watford 1, Man City 3.
Let's move on to the next game, which is Leeds versus Brentford. Leeds, they won late on against Palace with a penalty from Rafinha. It was a bit of a cagey game. It wasn't the best performance in the world, but they got the win. Could they go out there and do it again against Brentford, who were recently on form, haven't been that good?
They've only won 1 in the last 5, Brentford. I just hope Rafinha gets on the score sheet again.
Have you got him in your team?
I do, yeah. So when he scored that pen last minute, I was like, yes, come on.
I hate watching pens when my FPL players in them, because it just stresses me out.
It's stressful, isn't it? So stressful. I'm going 1-1, mate. I'm going 1-1.
I'm going to go Leeds 2-1. Just because I think the home form is better than Brentford. Maybe we'll see the return of Patrick Bamford. I don't know when he's coming back. It is a bit of a morale boost to see them win last week, and I think they'll kick on.
Brentford, meanwhile, they were, blown away by Spurs in that London derby. Didn't really offer anything. I think this will be a close one. Very hard to call. But I think, you know what? I'm going for Leeds 1, Brentford 0.
Next game, Manchester United, who we saw just about beat Arsenal last night at... I'm sorry to mention it. Now they take on Crystal Palace at home. Theo, what do you think?
Vieira at Old Trafford. I feel like Palace are... I don't necessarily know if they are, but I feel like Palace are somewhat United's bogey team. And I'm basing that purely on the fact when Darren Ambrose scored that worldie against United, like all those years ago. Oh, it's tough because it's Ranieri's first game, but Palace are playing really well. Like they really, really are quite solid, especially under Vieira. And I feel like Vieira, will hype him up. He'll set up well. I feel like Palace could scrape a 2-1 or a 1-0. I'm going to go out. I'm going to go bold. I'm going to go bold and go for a Palace 2-1.
Are you saying this just because they beat Arsenal and you're a little bit salty about it?
No, not at all. I just backed Patrick Vieira.
I'm going to be boring. I'm going to go for 4 goals though. Manchester United 3, Crystal Palace 1. I know you don't believe this will happen, but Rangnick will create a real intensity around Old Trafford where fans and the players will be fired up. And I just think they'll score another 3 goals. And I can't see the qualities of Palace being enough to beat them. I think that's an insane prediction from you, mate. Let's see what Thogdad thinks anyway. Like, will he back Theo? It might be 2 Palace wins, who knows?
Against Crystal Palace, who should really have got something out of the game against a struggling Leeds. But you know what? Man United against Crystal Palace, it's going to be a 2-0 home win.
On to the next one. Tottenham against Norwich. Norwich on form have been brilliant. Since Dean Smith has come in, they've been very good.
They have. They're picking up points, aren't they?
Will this be a walkover? Because I actually think, if you look at the form table in the Premier League at the moment...
Mate, they got 8 points in the last 4 games.
If you look at Tottenham, they've only got 7 points.
I've got Kane in my team, and ever since bought him, he's done nothing. I feel like, Son's coming in. Son's playing really well at the moment. I feel like Kane needs to... If Kane steps up this weekend, Spurs will win. That's what I feel like. But it's just, it's one of them where, what's happened to him at the moment? Where's his form of the last few years?
You've got Kane in your team.
I know, it's outrageous. Harry Kane has to. He has to step up at some point. And Norwich, yes, they're in great form under Dean Smith, but I'm going to go with 2-0 Tottenham.
I think for the first time in this video, we agree. I've also gone for a 2-0 Tottenham prediction. I think they will put up a fight. I just don't think it will click. Spurs at home, they've got the qualities. Heung-min Son will probably score again. He's in my FPL team, cashing me in the points. Come on.
But you know what? White Hart Lane, difficult place to go. I'm going for Spurs 2, Norwich 0. I'm hoping Son bags again.
Next match, it's like a Midlands, I'm not sure much of a rivalry, but they're not too far from each other. Aston Villa against Leicester. Theo Baker nearly killed his microphone. But what do you reckon?
I feel like Gerrard is doing a decent job. You know that he lost his first game in 3. It's annoying because Leicester, Vardy's playing pretty well at the moment. He's getting some goals. James Maddison getting a lot of goal contributions as well. It's a toughie. It is a toughie, but I'm going to go with a 2-1 Villa.
I watched Villa under Steven Gerrard against City, and they were very good. So I think that's a good prediction, to be honest. I'm going to say 2-2, a high-scoring draw. There's going to be an Ollie Watkins goal in there. I think maybe a James Maddison who's back on form. He's looking unreal. Have you seen... He's been smashing it lately. He might be an FPL shout for you.
If he keeps up this form, whacking him in, I think he's a bit pricey. That's the only thing. There are other options available, but he's bringing his form back from a couple of years ago.
Cool. So 2-2. You're back in Villa. Let's go over to Thogdad.
Aston Villa against Leicester City. This is a bit of a Midlands derby. Now, Aston Villa, they saw the return of Jack Grealish in the last game week, and you know what? They gave him a bit of a good reception, didn't they? But James Maddison, over the last 2 game weeks, he's started to get into that form. He's starting to do what we know he's capable of. But, a game like this, a derby game, mid-table clash, it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
The final game, Everton-Arsenal. Cool.
The problem with Everton is they're garbage right now. They're absolute garbage. The fans are turning on them. They've lost 4 out of the last 5 games. 1 point in the last 5 games. Yes, we lost to United. But, we've lost twice in 12 games? I think it is, 13 games. If we win this, we could go over West Ham, depending on the West Ham result. We could go up to 4th. I feel like Arsenal away win, maybe like either a 2-0 or a 3-1.
Rafa is the most likely manager to be sacked next. Everton are in a mess. The players don't seem as fired up. I think Arsenal will 100% win this game. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Arsenal. I think it'll be tighter than people think. Maybe a Damari Gray from somewhere. I think Arsenal will come through. I got to say, Smith Rowe, is he the best youth kid in the Premier League right now?
In terms of form, he has to be right. He never really broke into the side, and he was always good. But the thing that separated him this season in particular is numbers, like goal contributions. Like, you can be as good as anyone, you can be as good as Messi, but if you're not actually getting the goal contributions when you're playing in that front four, it's a numbers game these days, and he's not going to play. But because he's getting the goal contributions, he's starting every game, the confidence is building, he's getting on the score sheet, not only assists. I think he's number one.
So what was your prediction in the end?
I'm going to go with 2-0 Arsenal.
Let's see if Dogdad agrees on the final score.
And finally, Everton against Aston Villa, two teams who lost last game week. Everton were blown away by Liverpool in the Merseyside derby. A lot of fans were leaving after 20 minutes. It's all gone wrong there. And as we said last week, Everton are the worst form team in the whole league. Now, Arsenal, a rare defeat to Man United. But you know what? They're having a good season. They look like a really good young side. And I think they'll win this one 1-0.
Theo, it has been a pleasure to have you on Prem Predictions this week.
I hope I at least get... If I get one scoreline prediction correct, I'll be happy. I hope I haven't embarrassed myself like I always do.
No, I don't think you have, mate. And by the way, I love the outfit. The Christmas outfit is proper, mate. You got the jumper, you got the hat.
Badger on the back. Do you know who I want to see on there, by the way, Theo?
What's that?
I want to see Mr. Josh Larkin, Mr. Chippy himself. I want to see some predictions from the man.
Why do you want him on? Is he good at predicting?
He pretends he knows ball, but all he knows is Man United. He doesn't know ball. I want to see what he's made of.
I want to see his ball knowledge. Overall Premier League ball knowledge. So we can compare how many points you get with him, all right?
Exactly. And if he beats me, I'll stop everything.
Well, we'll see what happens. We're gonna get Josh on, guys. Make sure you go run up his socials to bring him on Prem Predictions, and go follow Theo on all his social medias. They'll be on the screen. Thank you so much for coming on. It's always a pleasure. And we'll see you in a bit. Bye, guys.